Good morning, guys. Welcome to Thursday's FRT Gold live video. Sorry for the last few days that there haven't been one. There have been a few technical problems, but we seem to be back up and running and the videos can now return, which is good news. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying this fantastic run of form we're actually in at the moment, flying at the moment with our tips. Thinking about, I think it's premium tip and next best bet double have happened on Friday. I think it happened Friday, Saturday, Monday, and Wednesday. Premium tips are 5 out of the last 6. Little earners, we've had 2 winners. Next best bets are in good form. It's been a really good run, and hopefully we can continue that today. As I say, a reminder that this is a live Q&A session, so if you have any questions about any of today's tips or any of the tips that have just been, or any general horse racing questions, please do feel free to get in touch. Remember all the ways you can do that. You can either join directly in this live Q&A session by just clicking on the box, and there's plenty of questions you might have. Also, if maybe you're not watching this video live, perhaps you're watching on your lunch break, or you haven't got any questions at the moment, but maybe one might pop into your head a little bit later, just feel free to email joe@freeracingtips.co.uk. You can get in touch via Twitter as well. Our handle is @freeracingtips7, and then it's facebook.com/groups/FRT Gold. So plenty of ways for you to get in touch. Please do feel free to do so. As I said, a really decent run of form at the moment, and to be honest, I usually see these early stages of October as a really difficult time to pick winners, because you've got the sort of jumps or the flat to jumps transaction. You've got testing ground in many of the places, but it just seems to be that sometimes you can maybe even eliminate a few selections with that, and sometimes backing those horses over jumps that have had a run over the ones that haven't, you can get some better value. Some horses can be a shorter price on their reputation rather maybe than what they are capable of achieving on their first run for the season. But yeah, it's been a really good run, and while we're in this form, we're looking to continue that as well as possible. 4 tips today, all at fairly decent prices, I think. Today we race from Worcester, they go over jumps. Ayr, we're on the flat. Exeter, their first meeting of the season, that's over jumps. There's Tremor over in Ireland, and then there's the Tapita card, the all-weather at Wolverhampton a little bit later on this evening. So plenty for us to get stuck into. If you're a fan of flat jumps or all-weather racing, there's something covered for all of you. So we'll look at the premium tip to begin with, and that does go on the Tapita surface at Wolverhampton. It's in their first race of the day. It's the 5:20 there at Wolverhampton at that Midlands track, and our tip is Lunar Mission, and it's currently a 5-2 shot at the moment. Now, this horse has had 2 runs so far and finished in 3rd in both of those, but the run at Yarmouth last time out was certainly an improvement on the 3rd at Kempton on debut. You know, you can see 2 thirds and think fairly similar runs. That's not the case. Probably a little bit of a better race at Yarmouth, and actually finished a bit closer to the winner as well. So that was improvement, and I think this filly looks as though she'll improve again actually in this encounter. Runs for Marco Botti, whose yard's had a really good season, and Martin Harley's on board, and I actually think he's a really underrated jockey. I think he's very good tactically, and Botti and Harley are a pairing that I like to follow. I think they're obviously the likes of Hughes and Hannon and Stout and more, they get followed a lot, but I think Botti and Harley, as well as Amira and Tudhope, they're certainly ones to follow. And I think yeah, Botti and Harley can get a winner here. I think this horse should take all the beating, to be honest. I think 5-2 looks to be a decent price. Does go up against Silvery Blue, who was 2nd on debut, but I just maybe think that a little bit more experience over this 6 furlong trip for Lunar Mission might be worth backing. And yeah, I just think Lunar Mission has a really good chance in that opening race at Wolverhampton today, and that's currently, as I say, a 5-2 shot. The next best bet for today, that goes an hour later. We're also at Wolverhampton for this one. It's in the 6:20, and our tip here is Framley Garth, sorry, and that's currently a 11-4 shot. That was at 7-2 when first tipped up this morning, so it's certainly been backed. There's been a couple of non-runners, but they're at 14-1 and 16-1 respectively, so no all 4 there. So it is the case that the horse is actually being backed, which is a really good sign at the moment for Framley Garth here. Now, some might say that this horse is fairly exposed, having not run 1 in 12 races, but if you actually look at all of this field, you can't say that there's any of them that aren't exposed, except from maybe, you know, some of them have had 4 runs, but most of them are in double figures for runs. And I just think So you can look at a horse being too exposed. I think sometimes you can see it as experience. I think Family Guff has been knocking on the door plenty and hasn't actually been putting in too many bad performances. And I think this could be the race where the horse finally loses that maiden tag. Down in class this evening. This is a weak race, and I think the experience and that little bit of quality that the horse has shown should be enough to come out in top in this one. The mile trip, I think, is an ideal one. It's been sort of up and down with trips. I think just running over a mile looks to be decent. James Doyle on board, that's a really positive jockey booking. He's sure to give a good ride, and I just think in that 6:20 at Wolverhampton, Family Guff looks to be a good bet, and the market seems to think that as well. If you're laughing if you got that 7-2 this morning, because you're now looking at 11-4 on that Family Guff there in that 6:20 at Wolverhampton. The 1 point win only single for today, that goes in the 5 o'clock at Worcester. All of the tips coming in the early evening, unfortunately. So we're going to have to wait a little while, but that does mean that maybe the horses can be really well backed, and we can get a much better price. But in that 1 point single today, that is Major Milbourne, and that's currently a 2-1 shot at the moment. Sorry, 7-2 shot at the moment. I was reading the 2-1 shot. 7-2 shot there in that 5 o'clock at Worcester. And then the little earner for today, that goes in the 4:50 at Exeter. Good to see racing returning to Exeter today. And our tip here is Beige and Blue. Now, this horse was a 15-2 shot when first tipped up. Now, generally around about the 13-2 mark. So a little bit of a nibble in the market for this one. And this horse has actually really didn't enjoy the 2 mile 7 furlong trip at all last time out, and simply didn't stay on that day. That wasn't the trip for the horse. I don't think Connections have decided to drop the horse in trip, and that looks to be a smart move. 2 mile 1 furlong the trip today, and I think that's much more like it for this one. I think actually runs off a decent handicap mark, to be honest, and should go well off that. Sean Bowen is on board, and he's actually a really good conditional jockey. And in these conditional jockey races, you certainly want to be siding with those ones who know how to ride a decent winner. And I think Sean Bowen is one of them. And I just think the horse looked to be good value. Maybe not so much now, 13-2. The each way angle just going out of it a little bit, but at 15-2, it did look a really good each way bet. So that's Beige and Blue is our little earners for today. Hopefully, will give us our third winner in 4 days. That's in that 4:50 at Exeter. So they're all of today's tips. Any questions about any of them, as I say, please do feel free to get in touch. In terms of what's going on in racing at the moment, it's sort of a strange kind of time in racing. As I say, the excitement is kind of building for the jump season now. People are really looking forward to that, but there is still plenty of flat action to go. Of course, we haven't had British Champions Day yet. You've got the Racing Post Trophy still to come. And yes, some really good flat racing still to come, but also just around the corner is the jumps. And I'm sure many of you are starting to study those jumps forms and see how we get on there. But actually, there is a bit of big news that happened yesterday. It was more of that. The World Hurdle winner, of course. I think big rumours that this horse was going to go over fences this season. That's not the case. More of that is going to stay over hurdles for this season at least. Maybe just another year of winning hurdle races, and then probably we'll go novice chasing the year after that. But more of that will stay over hurdles, and I think, will probably be poised and probably take a route such as the Cleeve Hurdle maybe in January. And then, of course, I think all eyes will go to defending that World Hurdle title that he won so well last season. So that's more of that. Unbeaten as well, more of that, and hopefully another big season for John Joe O'Neill and AP McCoy. You can be sure he'll be on this horse this time rather than just deciding to go with Rebecca Curtis's at Fisher's Cross, you would think. Yeah, there's actually a really, really good not a novice chase, but a really good chase taking place tomorrow. Now, you don't often get too many really good races at this stage, but it's at Newton Abbot. Let me just see. It's the 3:55 at Newton Abbot, and it's a 2 mile 5 furlong chase, and a really decent prize actually at Newton Abbot, over £18,000 here to the winner. And it's actually just the 5 runners. There were 17 entries, but there's just 5 runners. But if you look at these, it's really, really decent. Colour Squadron for Philip Hobson, AP McCoy. This horse who, of course, will ride in the JP McManus Silks and ran really well last year, actually was second and really close when in the Byron Group Plate, the Grade 3 handicap at Cheltenham Festival last year, was also third behind Double Ross, and looks to be a horse that I would kind of say is on the up at the minute. Is Colour Squadron. You also have Wonderful Charm, who much was thought of last season for Paul Nicholls and Sam Twiston-Davies. Was a big hope for a Cheltenham race, but couldn't quite do it. Taquin de Sul for John Joe O'Neill. This horse, who of course was a really impressive when winning the Dewsted Novices Chase, I believe, ahead of Double Ross at Cheltenham Festival as well. Both Taquin de Sul and Double Ross line up in this one, and also Paul Nicholls, another horse here in Black Thunder. So really, really good race there, and really looking forward to seeing that one take place. It's a 3:55 at Newton Abbot, but that's tomorrow. We'll focus on today for now. Thank you for watching today's video. As I say, any questions about any of the tips, please do feel free to get in touch. I'll be around all day, but for now, that's the video just about done. I'll speak to you all a little bit later on. If not, I'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you, and bye-bye.